ओम शांति शांति शांति। येन धौता गिरः पुंसाम् विमलैः शब्दवारिभिः तमश्चाज्ञानजं भिन्नं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः। नत्वा सरस्वतीं देवीं बुद्धां गुण्यां करोम्यहम् पाणिनीयप्रवेशाय लघुसिद्धान्तकौमुदीम्। हरि ओम। We have seen the it nishedha, that is Ekachopadeshenudatta, that was the sutra. After that, Gup Dhatu only is going on. Then two more sutras we saw. Swarati Suti Suyati Dhuyuditova Sutra did the Vikalpena Idagama. Then, of course, Nisheda was prapta by this Ekachopadeshenudatta. Then Swarati Suti Suyati Dhuyuditova Udit Dhatus, for Udit Dhatus. Vikalpena Idagama bhavati. So Vikalpena Idagama happened. And then there this again this Vruddhi for Gup Ukara. The Vruddhi was Nishiddha by Idadi. If there is Idadi Sich in front, then Vruddhi was Nishiddha. It was stopped. That sutra we saw. Wherever there is this Idadi Sich, there only it is applicable. When there is no Idadi Sich, because it is coming optionally by Swarati Suti Suyati Dhuyuditova. So when there is Idadi Sich, then the Vruddhi was stopped. When there was no Idadi Sich, like this in Agaupsit form, there is Sich, but it is not Idadi. That's why the Vruddhi did happen by Sutra Vada Vraja Halantasyacha, by that Sutra. And we saw the form, this Agaupsit, Agauptam. Jalo Jali, one Sutra we saw, that Sakara disappears if it is preceded and followed by Jal. So this in the Agauptam here, Agaup Sa and then Tam Pratyaya was there. So it was preceded by Pa, followed by Ta. Both of these are Jal letters. So Jalo, Jali, in between whatever the Sakara is there, Tasya Lopaha. That happened, and we got these forms. Agauptam, Agauptam, Agaupta. These forms were because of that. Then Agaupsam, as it is, Agaupswa, Agaupsma. Here, this Y and Ma are not Jal letters. So that's why Sakara does not disappear, it remains as it is. Now, next is this Lung Lakara, is the last Lakara for that, and then Kshi Dhatu will start. Again, Lung Lakara will get Sya Vikarana Pratyaya. Dhana Lung. So in the Lung Vivaksha, in the Lung, there will come Sya. Is there. Sya is Ardha Dhatuka. Tingshit Saro Dhatukam, Ardha Dhatukam Shesha. This is not Ting, this is not Shit. So this becomes Ardha Dhatuka. Because Sya is Ardha Dhatuka, in Ardha Dhatuka Vivaksha, Gup will get Aya Vikalpen. Nityataya, this Aya is Prapta by Gupu Dhupa Vichipani Panidhyaya, and Vikalpena it is Prapta when there is Ardha Dhatuka Pratyaya in front, or Ardha Dhatuka Vivaksha is there. Sya is there, where we are going to do the Ardha Dhatuka Vivaksha. Actually, this does not happen, like two steps what we are showing do not happen. When there is Vivaksha, we are going to do the Sya or Ardha Dhatuka Pratyaya. In that Vivaksha itself, Aya comes Vikalpena. So we get here Aya Vikalpena. Dhatu will be Gup, Dhana, Aya. Optionally 0, nothing. So when there is aya, so gup turns into go. Aya is there. Sutra for this we use is
Uganta lagupatesya cha.
Tingantaprakaranam. Form is ready. Gopaya is ready. Gopaya. Now there will come lung, and before that there will come sya. Sya will come by sutra.
Syata silugito.
Lung will come by lung nimittel lung kriyatipatta. Ling nimittel lung kriyatipatta. And sya will come by syatasi luluto. So by that syata mention here. Ling nimittel. And Gopaya sya. Now sya will get it agama once it will for Gopaya form it will come. So Gopaya it lung in the place of lung. We should have done the prakriya. It plus G sit plus here again good. It ikara will disappear from tip and sip. The sa will remain. Tas will be replaced by tam. Tas by tam. Tha by the. Here Jhakara will be replaced by ant and E will disappear by Itascha Sutra. Ant will come by Jhvantaha Sutra. Mip will be replaced by Vasmas will lose their Sakara. Sutra for this Itascha to make disappear this Ikara. Tam tam ta and adeshas will happen by Tasthastamipantam Tantamaha. Ant will come by Jhvantaha Sutra. Vasmas will lose their Sakara by Nityangitaha Sutra. Now everywhere Siya comes by Syatasil Lulutoho, and before that it comes. It comes by Ardhatuka Set Balade. So it is there everywhere. Because of it, Ikara, Sya Sakara turns into Murdhanya. Sure. So the Pratyaya has become Ishat. Ishyatam. Ishya here Atogune takes place. So Ishyant form we get here. Ishyas. Ishyatam. Ishyata. Ishyam. Here Akara. Akara Atogune Pararupa takes place. Isha wa it becomes dirgha by ato dirgho yahi. Ishama here also. That's how the pratyas we get. Now Gopaya will lose its akara. Akara will disappear by sutra. pratyas are ready, everywhere at will come by lung lang rung chodu dattah. So at the end forms we will get agopa ishyat.
Gopaishyatam, Gopaishyant, Ishyan, right? Sayogantasya lopa.
संयोगान्तस्य लोपः.
Gopaishyah, Gopaishyatam, Gopaishyata, Gopaishyam, Gopaishyava, sorry. Gopaishyava,
This was with aya. When there is no aya, then idagama will happen optional. So once we will have forms, the same pratyas will be there. Ishyat, Ishyatam, Ishyant, Ishyas, Ishyatam, Ishyata, Ishyam, Ishyava, Ishyama. And once when the idagama will not happen, then we will have pratyas Yat, Yatam, Yant, Yas, Yatam, Yata, Yam, Yava, Yama. Same prakriya will happen, just it will not happen. Why it will not happen? So explanation is Parati, Puti, Puyati, Puyo, Itova, Yanena, Vikalpikaha, Idagama bhavati. सार्ध धातुकानां वैकल्पिकः इडागमः भवति. तेन हि एकदा सह रूपाणि भवन्ति. एकदा so we get again two types of forms. Gup, Anit, and Gup set again we will decline here. Gup Dhana Sya Dhana Ta. At will be there, so at I will mention. At Gup Sya Ta form will be
Gopishyat,
Agopsya.
Agopishyat,
Agopsya.
Agopsya.
There is nothing to stop this guna. This sya is not kit or nit. It is ardhatuka pratyaya. So सार्वधातुक ardhatukayoho लघुपधस्य च उगंत लघुपधस्य च अपि भवति. So that's how it will happen. Agopsya. All forms will be like this. Agopsya, Agopsyatam, Agopsya, Agopsyatam,
Agopsyata, Agopsyam, Agopsyava, Agopsyama.
Now, when it will happen by Swarati Suti Suyati Dhunyoditova, Vikalpena happens. That time we will get the same form. So here we will write Gup set. Swarati ऊति ऊलति धूमु नु दितो वा इत्यनेन विकल्पिके इडागमे इटासः रूपाणि भवन्ति. So ishat, ishyatam, ishyan, ishyan, these pratyas will be used. However, there will not be aya. So rupas will be
Agopishyat,
agopishyat,
agopishyatam, agopishyan, agopishyaha, agopishyatam, agopishyata, agopishyam, agopishyaha, agopishyam.
agopisha. One note we will put here also. Gupt. आलादय आर्ध धातु एव इत्यनेन इति धातुस्य विवक्षायां विकल्पेन आय इत्ययः भवति. तश्च इटासः रूपाणि सिद्ध्यन्ति. That's why agopayishyat, agopayishyatam, these forms we get. With aya, without aya, 2 times. Here there are this. Agopayishyat, agopayishyatam, agopayishyan, these forms. Agopishyat, agopishyatam, agopishyan, these forms. And agopsyat, agopsyatam, agopsyan. This. So with aya, without aya, with it and without it. The forms. Forms are clear?
Yes,
Next dhatu is she. She kshaye. Again, pratamaganiya dhatu it is. It is ajanta dhatu. Now this is ekach dhatu. This is ekach dhatu. It is anudatta dhatu. Okay. In upadesha avastha, it is ekach anudatta dhatu. So ekach upadeshenudatta, this sutra is going to be applied here. Okay. This ekach upadeshenudatta sutra does the it nishedha. It nishedha is done by ekach upadeshenudatta. Upadesheya dhatu ekach anudattascha tata ardhatukasya innasya. So whenever these ardhatuka pratyas are going to come, the it nishedha is going to happen by this sutra. This is not final statement. There are further sutras are going to come. Now for this dhatu and the similar to these dhatus, the set of sutras is going to get applied. That's why just to like upalakshanartha, this dhatu is taken, and rest of the dhatus we have to decline in the same manner. That's why kshi dhatu is taken. We'll decline she first. She, dhana, lat. Lat will be replaced by tip, plus G, tip, plus the, mip, plus mas. Tip, sip, mip will lose their pakara. Alantyam, tasya lopah. T, tas, G, G, jakara. will get anti, ant adesha by jhontah. Everything else will remain as it is. Everywhere she will get shap, kartari shap. So she, dhana, shap, dhana, lat is there. Oh, T is there, suppose. Shap, only akara will remain. Shap is sarvadhatuka pratyaya. Tingshit sarvadhatuka. It is shit. That's why it is sarvadhatuka pratyaya. So sarvadhatuka ardhadhatuka sutra is applied. She turns into kshe. Shap. Then kshe, dhana a, dhana ti. Guna takes place by sarvadhatukarthayoho. Then she turns into shai by
यचो यवायावः
echo yavayavah. That's it. Shayati. It gets connected. Shayati. Shayati. Rest of the forms are like this.
शयति क्षयत क्षयन्ति क्षयतः क्षयन्ति
Shayatah.
क्षयसि
Ayasi.
क्षयथः
Shayatah.
क्षयथ
Shayatha.
क्षयामि
Shayami.
क्षयावः क्षयामः
Shaya. Next, let's say this a will become dirgha by ato dirgho yahi sutra. Shayami, kshayam, kshayamah forms will get. Sa will turn into visarga by sa will turn to karavasana research. Shri dhana lit is there. Shri dhana lit. This ayadayara dhatu etc. that has gone now. Only the it charcha will happen. Shri lit is there. Lit will be replaced by tiptaji, pittastham, vibhasmas, tatan, sorry, vibhasmas. Tibadi will be replaced by nal atuspus. Nal atus. Nal. And this is what we are going to decline. However, before this, once we will decline lut lakara, then we will come back to lit lakara. Okay, for the next sutra. So suppose Shri dhatu is there, and we are going to decline lut lakara. Lut lakara will get tip, thus, she, tip, thus, the, nip, was, must. Tip will be replaced by da. This will be replaced by rav. We will be replaced by this. Then sip will disappear. Mip will disappear. Everywhere tas will come. In the originally tas comes by syatasil ruluto. Syatasil ruluto. Syatasi are syah, cha, tasihi, cha, syatasi. That's how the Vigraha is. Sya and Tasi. So originally, Tas is Tasi. It is with Ikara. It is read with Ikara. Ikara gets its Saudna, it disappears. We get only Tas. Okay. So everywhere we have been writing Tas, 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 but the original pratyay is Tasi. That we have to remember. Now, Tas comes here in the Da disappears. A remains. There is Dakara as it. Ditva samarthyat abhasya piter lopah. So Tas loses its Ti bhaga and only Ta remains. Tas Rav here, Sa disappears, only Sa disappears by Sutra Richa. In the Ras, this case also, Sa disappears of Tas by Richa Sutra. Tas Si here, Sakara disappears by Tasastyor Lopaha. Everywhere else, it remains as it is. Tasthas, Tastha, Tasmi, Tasvas, Tasmas. So, Ta Tarav Taraha, sorry, Ta Tarav Taras, Tasi, Tasthas, Tastha, Tasmi, Tasvas, Tasmas. This is what the pratyas we get. Eventually, we get the pratyas like this. Ta, Tarav, Taras, Tasi, Tasthas, Tastha, Tasmi, Tasvas, Tasmas. Now, prakrya is here. Shi, Dhana, Ta. This is what we have got. Shi, Dhana, Ta. Shap will not cut. Shap will not come here because Tas has come. Tas has come as apavada of Shap. So Tas is there. Now, this Tas should get it or not. That is the question. So, it is prapta by Ardha Dhatuka set Valadehe. This sutra, simple sutra says that Valadi Ardha Dhatuka यह प्रत्यय भवति तस्य प्रत्ययस्य वलादि आर्धधातुक प्रत्ययस्य इडागमः स्यात् और इडागमः भवतु तर्हि अत्र तेन सूत्रेण इडागमः भवेत् इडागमः इज प्राप्त however it is stopped by the sutra एकाचोपदेशेन उदात्तः आर्धधातुकस्य वलादेः इत्यनेन प्राप्तः इडागमः एकाच उपदेशेन उदात्तात् इत्यनेन निषिध्यते. That is stopped by ekach upadeshena udatta. It says that if there is ekach upadesha, ekach anudatta dhatu in the upadesha avastha, then ardha dhatukaste it nasya. Ardha dhatuka will not get it agam. Prapta by ardha dhatuka set balade. So, Shidhana ta here, it was prapta, is stopped by ekach upadeshena udatta. So, it will not come. So we have to connect directly Kshi to Ta, Tarav, Taras, Tasi, Tastas, Tastha, Tasmi, Tasvas, Tasmas. Forms will be here. She will get Guna. Ta is there. Guna will happen by Uganta Laghu Padasya cha. Then forms will be here. I will type Theta.
Kshetaro, Kshetarahas.
Thetara,
Kshetasi, Kshetastha.
Thetasi, Thetastha, Thetastha, Thetasmi, Etas. Ah. Etas. This is how the forms are. Now, this is one situation where tas is there in front of dhatu. Tas is coming in front of dhatu, or tasi. Instead of tas, I will say hereafter tasi. Tasi is coming in front of dhatu. While tasi being there in front of this dhatu, it nishedha is happening. It nishedha is happening by this ekachopadeshenu datta. And at the end, while tasi being there in front of dhatu, it is not coming. Dhatu, in front of which there is tasi, and the final form is without idagama, or is happening without idagama. Okay. So now the new criteria is given, or the new title is given to the dhatu. Dhatu which is anit while tasi being there in front of it. Dhatu becoming or being anit while tasi pratyay being there in front. Okay. This is new title given to the dhatus. Now new criteria is created. Why this statement is made? Because there will be some pratyayas, some other pratyayas, while those pratyayas being there in front of these dhatus, somewhere this it is going to happen, somewhere it is not going to happen, and somewhere it is going to happen optionally. Sorry, vikalpe. Now, to do those vidhi nishedha and vikalpa, this title is going to be used. What? Dhatu being anit while tasi being there in front of it. This criteria will be used, or this title is going to be used in the following sutras. So this we have to remember. This portion is clear, na?
Yes, Ji.
So for now only this much you remember. Immediately we don't need. We will need it for thal. Now let's come back to the Shi Dhana lit lakara we are going to solve. Shi Dhana null a is there. A will be there. Null a. Normal prakriya will happen. What is the prakriya?
लिटि धातोरनभ्यासस्य.
Liti dhatoranam. This will happen. Then
हलादिशेषः.
Sarishesha. Then
कुहोश्चुः.
Vosh. Chuhu. Now pratyay is anit.
अतो गुणे
No.
अनुवृत्ति.
Vruddhi is happening. Anga is ajanta getting followed by anit pratyaya.
Vriddhi.
अचोनिति.
Aniti. Iti aniti pratyaya pare ajantangasya vruddhisya. So there is anit. So because this not vikalpini, vruddhi will happen. She. Sha.
एचो यवायाम्.
Form is ready. Shaya. Shi, Dhana, Atus. Prakriya will be
लिटि धातोरनभ्यासस्य
धातोरन्त्यस्य
हलादिः शेषः
लादस्येतः
कुहोश्चुः
Ushchu.
अचोन्निति
No, here it will not be.
No vriddhi here. That is badita.
Ji,
No vriddhi here I say.
correct. Vriddhi will not happen here. It was not prapta also.
It is kitvat. No?
It was not prapta also. Guna was prapta, but that will be stopped by
Kitvat bhag.
no. Anyway, that is also not happening. The another sutra is prapta. That is, E will turn into iya.
Achishnu dhatu yamuna.
Vishnu, dhatu, vam,
Wow.
go,
Yo.
ya.
Re. Yo.
Achishnu dhatu, ruling over you. By Nitcha, it will happen to, though it is Anekal, but it is Nit, that's why it will happen to the last letter of whatever it is, Vihita. So, she, ya. Us. Nga will disappear, A will disappear, only E will remain, and we will get Chikshi Atus. On the way. Shiyatu. Form is clear?
Yes, ji.
Next is similar prakriya.
लिटि धातोरनभ्यासस्य
इति धातोरनभ्यासस्य
हलादिः शेषः
फलादेशः
कुहोश्चुः
then
अचिष्णु धातु भ्रुवो
Chishnu dhatu brahmai varyam, then chik chihu sasavishoru kharvasanar visarjaniya. Next is Dhana Thal. Here, general prakriya we will do. She, Tha,
लिटि धातोरनभ्यासस्य
इति धातोरनभ्यासस्य इ, she, Tha,
हलादिः शेषः
फलादेशः इ,
कुहोश्चुः
Suhu. Now, here, it should happen or not. That is the question. Okay. Up to this. Now, it is Nishiddha nishedha of it is done by this ekach upadeshenu datta. Upadeshavasthayam ekach anudattah dhatuh tasmat ardhatukasya it nasyat. So it is not prakta. Then there comes, now this is very general rule, like it says that ekach anudatta dhatu should be there, and then ardhatuka will not get it agama. So one sutra is created by Maharshi Paninaji. That sutra is next sutra. This sutra we have to read. Let's read the sutra. Prusru bhruvrus tudrus sushruvo liti. Prusru bhruvrus tudrus sushruvo liti. Prusru bhruvrus tudrus sushruvo liti. Kru sru bhru bhru. Stu dru sru shru. These are the 8 dhatus. Kru sru bhru bhru. Rukaranta 4. Then tu, stu, dru, sru and shru. These 4 ukaranta dhatus. Sutra is saying that if at all dhatus are going to become anit, means because of dhatu, somewhere this it is going to be stopped, like it was prapta and it was going to be stopped by any sutra, then let that nishedha, that stopping should happen, or let that happen only to these dhatus in the case of lit. I will repeat the meaning. If at all, anywhere it nishedha is going to happen, let that, I will rephrase. If at all, this it nishedha is going to happen to the dhatus while lit pratyaya being in front, then let that nishedha happen only for these 8 dhatus. So the criteria are like this. Dhatu is there. It is getting followed by lit pratyayas. It is getting followed by lit pratyayas. And it was prapta, but the nishedha of that it is done. There are 100 dhatus. After 100 dhatus, if there are in nishedha is done in general, like ekach upadeshenu datta. This ekach upadeshenu datta is doing it nishedha, not asking that which ardhatuka pratyaya is there in front. He is just saying that any ardhatuka pratyaya and it nishedha will happen. It will not come. This sutra says, if this it nishedha is happening in the case of lit lakara pratyayas also, then let that it nishedha happen only in the case of these 8 dhatus and not the other dhatus. So, suppose there were 100 dhatus, everywhere ardha dhatuka pratyayas were there, it nishedha was done. For ekacho anudatta dhatus, it nishedha was done. For example, this tas pratyaya was there, kshi dhatu was there, and for this kshi dhatu, it nishedha was done for ardha dhatuka pratyaya by ekacho upadeshenu datta, and it did not come. Now the same kshi dhatu we are taking for lit, and there is another dhatu. Let's take this kru dhatu. Okay. Kru dhatu is going to be taken, or kru dhatu is being taken. Now kru dhatu also, it nishedha is done by ekacha upadeshenu datta. Sutra says that if it is ekach anudatta dhatu and ardhatuka pratyaya is there in front of it, it will not happen. So that's how kru dhatu, when it is declared, karta kartaro kartaraha, that's how it is declared. So for kru also it nishedha happened, and kshi also it nishedha happened. Now both of these dhatus came for lit lakara pratyayas. Now kru plus lit is there, kru plus kshi plus lit is also there. Now when there is kru plus lit, like kru is getting connected with lit and kshi is also getting connected with lit, Lit is Ardha Dhatuka Pratyaya. Like in the place of lit, we are going to bring the thal, tha. Only there, the first time it is going to come, and then was and must. For these two pratyayas, it is going to come. Everywhere else, it is not going to come. Everywhere else, it is ajadi pratyaya. That's why it is not prapta. In the lit lakara, only thal, was and must. Thal, va, ma. These three pratyayas are going to get the it agama. Thal is the first pratyaya among these three. So that's why it is taken. So lit thal pratyaya is there. Lit thal pratyaya is there. In front of kru dhatu, in front of kshi dhatu. Both of these dhatus are ekaj anudatta dhatus. Both of these dhatus are ekaj anudatta dhatus. Thal, lit thal pratyaya is ardha dhatuka pratyaya. It is ardha dhatuka pratyaya. Ekaj upadesh, ekaj anudatta dhatu ho ardha dhatuka pratyaya pare sati इडागमः न स्यात् तस्य अर्धातुकस्य इडागमः न स्यात् इति केन उक्तम् एकाचोपदेशेन उदात्तात् इति सूत्रेण उक्तम् प्रकृतं सूत्रं किं वदति यदि लिटि परतः इन् निषेधः भवति तर्हि एतेषामेव धातूनां भवेत् अन्येषां धातूनां न भवेत् so it nishedha if at all is happening while lit ardha dhatuka pratyaya being there in front, then let that nishedha happen only to these dhatus, or in the case of these dhatus, and not the other dhatus, other than these 8 dhatus. So, kru is dhatu, ekaj anudatta dhatu, lit ardha dhatuka pratyaya is there, it nishedha is prapta by ekacha upadesha anudatta. Kshi is ekacha anudatta dhatu, lit ardha dhatuka pratyaya is there in front of it. It nishedha was prapta by ekacha upadesha anudatta. But current sutra says that apart from these 8 dhatus, if there is another dhatu which is having it nishedha while being lit ardha dhatuka pratyaya in front of it, then that it nishedha will not happen in the case of that dhatu. This much explanation is clear? I will repeat. Ekach upadeshenu dattat. It is saying generally, you take any ekach anudatta dhatu and take any ardha dhatuka pratyaya in front of it. While that ardha dhatuka pratyaya being in front of ekach anudatta dhatu, it will not happen. It was happening by ardha dhatuka set balade, that is the utsarga vidhi. But it will not happen if dhatu is ekach anudatta dhatu. Now there are a lot of ekach anudatta dhatus, and after them, while ardha dhatuka pratyaya is there, that ardha dhatuka nishedha is done. Ardha dhatuka pratyaya se it nishedha is done by ekacha upadeshenu dattat sutra. However, this sutra says that do not do this it nishedha for all ardha dhatuka pratyayas, for all ekacha anudatta dhatus also. Then he gives the specific case that while ardha dhatuka lit ardha dhatuka pratyayas being there in front of ekacha anudatta dhatus, this specific case he is taking. So multiple dhatus are there which are ekach anudatta dhatus. In front of them, if there is ardha dhatuka pratyaya, it nishedha is done. So for example, kru dhatu or kshi dhatu and many other dhatus. Tas ardha dhatuka pratyaya is there in front of them. It was prapta by ardha dhatuka sedvalade and it was stopped. The nishedha was done by ekacha upadeshenu dattat. Now, when all these dhatus came to lit lakara pratyayas are also ardha dhatuka pratyayas. In the case of thal, this lit lakara ardha dhatuka pratyaya, it is prapta by ardha dhatuka sedvalade. Then that it for all of these ekacha anudatta dhatus is stopped, or the nishedha of that it is done by ekacha upadeshenu dattat sutra. just as it was done for tas pratyaya, same way it is done for thal also. It is generally it was prapta for thal. However, Sutrakara says, in the case of thal, he is not saying thal, he is saying lit ardhatuka pratyaya. So we are taking thal only, that is first one. In the case of lit lakara pratyayas, if this it nishedha is happening, let that it nishedha happen only for these 8 sutras. Apart from these dhatus, if there is dhatu, then that it nishedha will not happen. So, it nishedha was prapta for these 8 dhatus, kru, sru, bru, vru, stu, dru, sru and shru, as well as kshi. Kshi dhatu is there. That dhatu was also getting it nishedha. By which sutra? Ekachopadesheno datta. Again, this sutra is coming, and this sutra is saying that do the it nishedha while lit pratyayas being there in front of it, in front of these 8 dhatus. These 8 dhatus were covered by ekachopadesheno datta. That sutra is simply saying ekach anudatta dhatu and ardhatuka pratyaya. Kru, sru, bru, vru, stu, dru, sru, shru. These are covered, and lit lakara pratyayas are ardhatuka pratyayas. So same thing is being repeated here in this sutra, which was already covered by this ekachopadesheno datta sutra. Ekachopadesheno datta sutra is saying ekach anudatta dhatu and ardhatuka pratyaya. Krusru, bhruvru, studru, srushru are ekach anudatta dhatus, and lit is ardhatuka pratyaya. Same thing is being repeated. So that's why this sutra becomes niyama. Like this vidhi was already prapta by another sutra, and again it has begun. It has been begun by Sutrakara. That means what? If at all this is going to happen, then it will happen only in the case of this and not in the general. That is the ashaya. If at all it nishedha is going to happen for the lit lakara ardhatuka pratyayas, then let this nishedha happen only in the case of these dhatus and not other dhatus, other than these dhatus. So, in the case of kru, dhana, thal and kshi, dhana, thal, in the both cases, it nishedha was prapta to tha, kar, ru, tha, then ka, glam, ru, tha is there. Here, it nishedha happened. It was coming by ardhatuka sedvala dehe, and it is stopped by this ekacha.
Ekachopadesheno datta.
It is stopped, and therefore we get cha. Guna takes place by sarvadhatuka ardhatuka yoho. And we get from chakartha. Now in the case of she, tha is there, and we get chi, tha. Here also it nishedha is prapta by
Ekachopadesheno datta.
No.
Ardhatuka sedvala dehe is bringing the it, and it is stopped by ekachopadesheno datta. Anena
Sutrena.
सूत्रेण आर्ध धातुकस्तेड्वलादेः इत्यनेन प्राप्तः इट् निषिध्यते। प्राप्त इट by अर्धातुकस्य बलादि stopped by एकाचोपदेशेन दत्तत्. Now prakriya, what should happen? Chi, she and her. Okay. Here the it is stopped, correct? Current sutra is saying if at all this it nishedha is prapta, or apart from this kru, sru, bru, bru, stu, dru, sru, shru, apart from these 8 dhatus, then it will not happen. This it nishedha will happen only for these 8 dhatus only. It will not happen to other dhatus. She is not counted in these 8 dhatus. That's why it nishedha will not happen in the case of kshi. This is not actually final statement. 3 sutra more we have to see. But it nishedha, what prapta, okay, it nishidhyate अर्धातुकस्य बलादित्येन एकाचोपदेशेन दत्तत् इत्यनेन सूत्रेण अर्धातुकस्य बलादित्येन प्राप्ते निषिध्यते, किन्तु कृ ऋ ऋ यस स्वामी जी
Nothing.
लिटि इत्यनेन नियमः क्रियते यत् यदि लिटि अर्ध धातु लिटः अर्धधातुकस्य इट् प्राप्यते तर्हि सः केवलं येषाम् एव अष्टानां धातूनां निषिध्यते न अन्येषाम्. This it nishedha is done only for this 8 and not for the other dhatus. This is the niyam. This much is clear.
Yes, Shri.
We are going to do vikalpena it agama, but few more sutras we need to see. Should we stop here, Swamiji?
Yes.
We'll stop it here. We'll continue from here. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Hari Om. Hari Om.
Oh.
Om Ji.
Hari Om.
Hari Om Ji.